Good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you may be, or good evening, or good night. This is Jen at Jen's Arty Inclinations, a place to create, share, and play.
Hello, it's Junk Journal January time, which is hosted by Meg's Journals, and here are all the prompts.
And today's prompt is outline. Now, this was perfect for the book that I've made up this year. I did up all these inky pages, so I did them with Tim Holtz Distress inks, just a few different colours. There's some salvage patina, there's some weathered wood, walnut stain, vintage photo, and I think there was some antique linen as well. Anyway, I splodged up all these pages in all different ways, and I thought outline was the perfect opportunity just to outline some of the shapes and see how it came out. So I quite like this. It's like a bit of a mindful exercise. I'm not being very precise. I'm trying to keep my pen fairly loose so that the shapes are just loose outlines, and it gives you that sort of nice ghosting effect. Plus, I'm not very good at being precise and accurate anyway, so it's another way to get around that. But yeah, it's just fun. So I'll often paint up backgrounds or do inky backgrounds, and then I'll do some outlining, and then I'll often doodle into those outlines. But this time, I just wanted shapes. I just wanted to pick out those shapes to honour, the work that the inks did for me in all of their wonderful smudgy gloriousness, and just relax. Great way in January to hang out, really, relax and just outline some random little shapes. So I'm going all over the page. I'm not outlining every single thing I see. It's just really rather intuitive, just randomly picking pieces and shapes out as they sort of jump out at me and letting them do all the work. I'm also making sure that some of those run off the page. That's probably the only thing I'm conscious of, because somehow that just often works quite well. So here you go, running off the page again. And yeah, in the end, you end up with this kind of real map-looking kind of page, and it's quite wonderful. I mean, I was carrying on a conversation while I was doing this, so it reminds me of the days, those of us who remember corded telephones, and you used to sit by the telephone and you'd often have a pad that everybody would doodle on by the telephone. A little bit like that, having a conversation, doodling away, playing about. It's a, what do you call it? It's a visual or sketchy kind of crossword kind of thing. Yeah, so quite a bit of fun. And then once I'd done a fair bit on the page, I sort of looked at it and it just lent itself to simply have some words on it. And I thought, wow, what a great way to do some easy journaling. If, you're not a journaler, something like this is sort of halfway through a visual sketchbook, diary, journal, all of that combined. It's an art book, it's everything. And, you might just pick out some words from a newspaper or some words that you've printed, or if you're great at writing and doing typography, you can write your words over the top. But so look, almost finished on what I'm going to work on. There we are. So that was when I thought, yep, let's have some words. So I had this lovely, It's a brown baking paper. It's just a standard baking paper from the supermarket. And because it was this lovely brown, I grabbed a whole roll of it. I have there a little label that I've stamped using stamps, and then I put them in little borders. So that worked really nicely. I then just tore up some more because I had another little saying that I'd printed out off a digital. Might have been a Graphics 45 digital, but so just tearing up little pieces to put those little strips on. It's all the one saying. And if a train doesn't stop at your station, then it's not your station. I thought, well, that's rather poignant for this time of year. You know, we're all thinking resolutions and all of those sorts of things. So there we are, just popping them on a little background as well, just sticking them all down on that baking paper. Then I had this lovely piece of cheesecloth, so I stuck that behind the journey as well. And then I'm gluing it all down through the cheesecloth and all, and that sticks very nicely on the page. Same thing for the little word strips, just popping them down randomly as well. A little bit of extra baking paper there. I sort of liked that on the last one. So there's the saying, if the train doesn't stop at your station, then it's not your train. And then I had this piece of lace that just sort of fell off the cheesecloth as I was getting that. So I cut it in half and I stuck half on the top and half on the bottom, and there is my contrast. So oftentimes if something just doesn't feel like it's coming together, add some contrast, either something really, really white or something really, really dark, and it will just lift your whole page. And there you are. How easy is that for today? Take care. I'd love it if you could leave me a comment below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed what you saw today. And of course, please subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you next time. And in the meantime, keep creating. Enjoy.